This is a reading from the Notebooks by Maria Valtorta, 1944. This is from the Holy Hour with Jesus, Part 3. Love one another as I have loved you. Love one another as I have loved you. John chapter 13, verse 34. From the cradle to the cross, from Bethlehem to the Mount of Olives, I loved you. The cold and indigence of my first night in the world did not keep me from loving you with my spirit, and annihilating myself as the Word to the point of not being able to say, I love you. I said those words to you with my spirit, inseparable from that of the Father, and working with it in inexhaustible activity. The agony of my last night on earth did not keep me from loving you. On the contrary, it reached the highest peaks of love. On the contrary, it burned in the most intense fire. On the contrary, it consumed all that was not love to the point of squeezing, along with repugnance at sin and the pain of abandonment by the Father, the blood out of my veins. What greater love is there than the one able to love when it knows it is hated? The first gesture of my hands was a caress, the last a blessing, and in the midst of these two gestures, the first arising in the darkness of a winter night, the last in the splendor of a glowing summer morning, 33 years of gestures of love, corresponding to as many motions of love, love in miracles, love in caresses for children and friends, love as a teacher, love as a benefactor, love as a friend, love, love, love. And more than human love, at the Last Supper, before being bound and pierced, these hands of mine washed the feet of the apostles, and also one of those whose heart I would have liked to wash. And they broke the bread, and I was breaking my heart with that bread. I was giving you that, because I knew I would soon return to heaven, and did not want to leave you alone, because I knew how easily you forget, and wanted you to see yourselves sitting at a single dinner table, around my table, to say to one another, we belong to Jesus. What love is greater than the one able to love those who torture it? And yet I loved you that way, and I was able to pray for you as I died. Love one another as I have loved you. Hatred extinguishes the light. Even mere resentment darkens peace. God is peace and light, for God is love. But if you do not love, and love as I have loved you, you cannot have God. As I have loved you, without acts of pride, then, from this tabernacle, this cross, and this heart, there emerge only words of humility. I am God, and I am your servant. And I remain here, waiting for you to say to me, I am hungry, to give myself as bread to you. I am God, and I expose myself to your sight on wood, which was a debasing scaffold, naked and accursed. I am God, and I ask you to love my heart. I ask you, out of love for you, since, if you love me, you do yourselves good. I am God. With or without your love, I am always God, but you are not. Without my love, you are nothing. Dust. I want you with me. I want you here. I want to make your dust blessed light. I want you not to die, but to live, for I am life, and want you to have life. Love one another without selfishness. It would be an impure love, destined to die of illness. Love one another by wanting for others more good than you hope for as regards yourselves. It is very difficult, I know, but do you see this Eucharistic bread? It has made the martyrs. They were creatures like you, fearful, weak, even dissolute. This bread made them heroes. In the first point, I indicated my blood to you for your purification. In the third point, to make you saints, I indicate this table and this bread to you. The blood changed you from sinners into just people. The bread changes you from just people into saints. A bath cleanses, but does not nourish. It refreshes and restores, but does not become flesh in the flesh. Food, on the other hand, becomes blood and flesh. It becomes you, yourselves. My food becomes yourselves. Oh, consider, look at a little child. Today he eats his bread, and he does so tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. He thus becomes a man, tall, sturdy, handsome. Is it his mother that has made him that way? No. His mother conceived, bore, gave birth to, nursed and loved him. But the little one, if after the mild he had received But the little one, if after the mild he had received nothing but baths, kisses, and love, would have perished of starvation. That child becomes a man through the adult food he consumes. That man is such because he eats his food every day. The same applies to your spiritual self. Nourish it with the real food which comes down from heaven, and from heaven brings you all the energies to make you stalwart in grace. Healthy, strong vitality is always good. See how easy it is for a sickly person to be harsh and lacking in compassion and patience. My food will make you healthy and strong in the vitality of the Spirit, and you will be able to love others more than yourselves, as I have loved you. For look, children, I have loved you not as someone loves himself, but more than myself, to the point that I went to my death to save you from death. If you love this way, you will know God. Do you know what it means to know God? It means to know the taste of true joy, true peace, and true friendship. Oh, the friendship, peace, and joy of God. It is the reward promised to the blessed, but it is already given to those on earth who love with their whole selves. Love, to be true, is not a matter of words. It is a matter of deeds, active like its source, who is God. Nor does it ever tire of working, even because of the disappointments coming from one's brothers and sisters. That love is poor, which falls like a bird with weak wings when an obstacle wounds it. True love, even when wounded, rises. With its claw and beak it clambers up, if it can no longer fly, so as not to lie in the shadow and the cold, to be in the sun, the medicine for every malady. And as soon as it is refreshed, it then resumes its flight. And it goes from God to its brothers and sisters, and from these to God, an angelic butterfly bearing the pollen of the heavenly gardens, to fecundate the earthly flowers, and carrying the scents snatched from the humblest flowers to God, so that he will receive and protect them. But woe to it if it drifts away from the Son. The Son is my Eucharist, for in it the Father blesses and the Spirit loves, while I, the Word, work. Come and take. This is the food that I ardently ask you to consume.